So much of life, and just for anyone that's kind of watching or thinking through these things, so much of life really just comes down to the decision. And you touched on something which we can maybe talk more about, but fear underlies a lot of this. Fear, and it could be fear of the worst case scenarios, and maybe we just kind of have a way of thinking about that all the time. Well, this could happen, as opposed to all the good things, all the great things that might happen from the decision. But I find every time that I just commit to a path, and whether it's I'm going to be an entrepreneur or I'm going to change careers, I think people will be amazed at how resources will start to show up. I've heard all the pithy cliches out there about how once you make the decision and burn the bridges, people will come to your aid. And you know what? It's true. It really does happen. I'm not sure quite why it is. I heard a person kind of tell me this one day, and I thought it was just gold, but said that the answers can't really come to our brains until the question has first been planted there.
Okay.
And so there's something where it's like, until I make that decision that I'm going to switch, or I really want to move into this, I'm not going to be aware of the things around me that could become resources. So let me give you an example. Let's say I want to become a filmmaker, and I finally make the decision I want to become a filmmaker. Well, I might be on the L. I might be walking on the street. I might hear people talking about something related to film. I might walk by a storefront with beginning classes. I might realize that I have a friend that's a filmmaker, and now I'm going to be in this mode. Like, I'm going to reach out to them. But if that's not in my head, I'm not thinking about it, then I probably won't. So, one thing else I just want to kind of talk about is there's this concept within career and entrepreneurship of just, there's a book out there called Luck is No Accident, but there's kind of this career theory, which I've used with clients, that it's called planned happenstance. And that's a little bit what I'm talking about. But planned happenstance is where you start to become open and put yourselves in environments and situations where there's a greater likelihood of good things happening. So, someone might come in and see you and say, I'm ready to make a switch. This is where I think they want to go. They do kind of that inner work to determine this is what I think I should be doing. And then you say, well, how can you start to kind of increase the odds of good things happening in this direction? So one thing we just talked about is now the question's in our head. We're going to be open to things that before we might have just almost like subconsciously dismissed. But then it's like, what else can you do to just kind of mingle with people, be in that situation? Are there meetups? Is there some sort of open house or a clinic, or who knows what? Do you have friends that do it? Could you just have lunch with them?
Right.
But every single time that I work with people, and in my own life when I make that decision, I'm just amazed at how doors start to open.
Yeah.
But it all hinges on me coming to my own assistance and making the decision that I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm making a change.